Brentford versus Manchester United. Everything you need to know about this crucial match. Welcome back to United Daily Updates. Before we dive into this crucial match preview, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. We are your most trusted source for everything Manchester United, bringing you detailed analysis, match previews, and all the latest news from Old Trafford every single day. The hook that could change everything. What if I told you that Saturday's trip to Brentford could be the match that either kickstarts United's season or sends them spiraling into another period of doubt? This isn't just another Premier League fixture. This is a match where history, current form, and future ambitions all collide at the Tech Community Stadium. And the stakes couldn't be higher for Ruben Amorim and his players. Introduction. Why this match matters more than you think. Manchester United travel to face Brentford this Saturday in what many are calling a must-win game for the Red Devils. But why is this particular fixture so important? And what makes it different from any other Premier League match? The answer lies in the story that's been building all season. United are sitting in 11th place in the table after 5 games, showing glimpses of progress under Ruben Amorim but struggling to turn that progress into consistent results. Meanwhile, Brentford are fighting at the bottom of the table, desperate for points after a summer that saw them lose key players. This match represents everything about where both clubs are right now. United need to prove they can win away from home consistently. Brentford need to show they can compete without their star players. One team will leave the Tech Community Stadium feeling much better about their season, while the other will have serious questions to answer. But there's so much more to this story than just league positions. There's the tactical battle between two managers with very different approaches. There's the individual battles that could decide the game. And there's the psychological impact that the result could have on both teams for the rest of the season. So buckle up, United fans, because we're about to take you through everything you need to know about this crucial fixture. From team news to tactics, from key stats to bold predictions, we've got it all covered. Setting the scene. Where both teams stand. Manchester United's current situation. Let's start with the obvious question. Where exactly are Manchester United right now? The simple answer is 11th in the Premier League table, but that doesn't tell the whole story. Under Ruben Amorim, United have been showing signs of tactical improvement that don't always show up in the results. The Portuguese manager has been trying to implement his preferred 3-4-2-1 formation, and while there have been growing pains, the underlying numbers suggest progress is being made. The 2-1 win over Chelsea last weekend was exactly the kind of result United needed. It wasn't perfect, but it showed character, tactical discipline, and the ability to grind out results when things get tough. These are the qualities that United have been missing in recent seasons. But here's the problem. One good result doesn't make a season. United still have major issues to address, particularly when playing away from home. Their recent away form has been concerning, and Saturday's trip to Brentford will be a real test of their mental strength. The early exit from the EFL Cup was disappointing, but it might actually help United focus on the Premier League and European competitions. Sometimes having fewer distractions can be a good thing, especially when you're trying to implement new tactical systems. Brentford's challenging start. Brentford's situation is more straightforward but arguably more concerning. They're sitting in 17th place with just 4 points from 5 games, and the summer departures are clearly being felt. Losing players like Thomas Frank, Christian Norgård, Brian Bumo, and Yoane Wissa would be difficult for any club, but for a team like Brentford, it's potentially devastating. These weren't just good players, they were the heart and soul of what made Brentford competitive in the Premier League. Keith Andrews has stepped up as the new manager, and while he's trying to maintain the club's attacking philosophy, the results haven't followed. The team is creating chances and playing attractive football at times, but they're not converting that into points on the board. The most concerning stat for Brentford fans is that they've dropped 8 points from winning positions already this season. That suggests mental fragility and an inability to see games out, which could be crucial against a United side that's learning how to grind out results. But don't write Brentford off just yet. Teams in their position often raise their game against bigger opponents, and their home record against United in recent years is actually quite impressive. The historical context. Why this fixture has extra spice. Recent meetings between these teams. The recent history between Brentford and United adds an extra layer of intrigue to Saturday's match. Last season's corresponding fixture was one of the most entertaining games of the Premier League season, with Brentford winning 4-3 after coming from behind. That result wasn't just a one-off either. Brentford have actually won 2 of their last 3 home Premier League games against United, which is a remarkable record for a club that only returned to the top flight recently. These results tell us something important about how Brentford approach games against United. They don't go into these fixtures with a defensive mindset, hoping to keep the score respectable. Instead, they attack from the first minute and try to impose their style of play on the game. For United, these results are a reminder that reputation alone won't win you games in the Premier League. Brentford don't care about United's history or their expensive squad. They just want to win football matches, and they've shown they have the ability to do exactly that. What these past results mean. The psychological impact of these recent results cannot be underestimated. Brentford players will walk onto the pitch on Saturday knowing they can beat United. They've done it before, and they can do it again. For United players, there might be a slight nervousness about facing Brentford. Nobody wants to be part of another embarrassing result, and that pressure can sometimes lead to tense performances. But there's also an opportunity here for United to show they've learned from those previous defeats. Good teams use disappointments as motivation, and Saturday could be the perfect chance for United to demonstrate their character. Team news and injury updates. Manchester United's availability issues. Ruben Amorim has some significant selection headaches ahead of Saturday's match, with 3 key players unavailable for different reasons. Casemiro's red card against Chelsea means he'll be suspended for the Brentford game. This is a big blow for United because the Brazilian has been one of their more consistent performers this season, despite some criticism of his mobility. Lisandro Martinez and Diogo Dalot are both dealing with injuries that will keep them out until next month. Martinez's absence is particularly concerning because he brings the kind of aggression and leadership that United often lack in defense. But injuries and suspensions are part of football, and good teams find ways to cope with these challenges. This could actually be an opportunity for some fringe players to step up and prove they deserve more regular first-team football. Brentford's relatively healthy squad. Keith Andrews is in a much better position regarding team selection, with only 2 players definitely unavailable due to injury. Gustavo Nunes and Paris Meghoma are both recovering from hamstring problems, but neither player was expected to be a regular starter anyway, so their absence shouldn't significantly impact Brentford's tactical plans. The good news for Brentford is that Reiss Nelson appears to have recovered from illness and should be available for selection. The Arsenal loanee has shown flashes of quality since joining Brentford, and his pace and creativity could be crucial against United's defence. Having a relatively full squad available gives Andrews more tactical flexibility and the ability to make changes during the game if things aren't going according to plan. Tactical analysis. How both teams will set up. Manchester United's expected formation and strategy. Ruben Amorim is expected to stick with his preferred 3-4-2-1 formation, despite the personnel challenges he's facing. This system has been showing signs of working, and consistency in tactical approach is often more important than having the perfect players available. The predicted lineup suggests some interesting choices. Sen Lammens is expected to start in goal ahead of Altay Bayındır, which tells us that Amorim isn't entirely convinced by the Turkish keeper's recent performances. In defense, the 3-man unit of Lenny Yoro, Matthijs de Ligt, and Luke Shaw offers a good blend of pace, aerial ability, and experience. However, Shaw playing as a left-sided centre-back is still relatively new, and his positioning will be crucial against Brentford's quick attackers. The wing-back positions are particularly important in Amorim's system. Nasser Mazraoui and Patrick Dorgu are expected to start in these roles, and their ability to provide width in attack while tracking back defensively will be vital. In midfield, Manuel Ugarte is expected to replace the suspended Casemiro alongside Bruno Fernandes. This partnership hasn't had much time to develop, but both players offer different qualities that could complement each other well. The attacking setup is perhaps the most intriguing aspect of United's predicted lineup. Benjamin Sesko leading the line makes sense given his physical presence and finishing ability, but the wide forward positions are where things get interesting. Brentford's tactical approach. Brentford are expected to line up in a 3-4-1-2 formation, which should create some fascinating tactical battles across the pitch. This system allows them to match United's 3-man defence while potentially creating overloads in midfield. Kouimin Kelleher in goal has been one of Brentford's most consistent performers since joining, and his distribution could be key to starting quick counterattacks against United. The defensive trio of Sepp van den Berg, Nathan Collins, and Ethan Pinnock offers good balance. Van den Berg brings pace and ball-playing ability, Collins provides physicality and aerial presence, while Pinnock offers experience and leadership. Michael Caode and Keane Lewis-Potter as wingbacks will have huge responsibility in this system. They need to provide width in attack while also tracking back to help defend against United's wingbacks. The midfield partnership of Jordan Henderson and Yeri Yarmolenko is particularly interesting. Henderson brings experience and leadership, while Yarmolenko offers energy and pressing intensity. This combination could be effective against United's technically gifted but sometimes physically overwhelmed midfield. Up front, the combination of Kevin Shade and Igor Thiago supported by Mikkel Damsgaard creates multiple threats that United's defence will need to handle carefully, key tactical battles. The tactical battle between these two formations should create several key matchups that could decide the game. The central midfield area will be crucial. United's Bruno Fernandes and Manuel Ugarte will face Brentford's Henderson and Yarmoliuk, with both teams looking to control the tempo and create chances for their forwards. The wing-back battle could be equally important. United's Mazraoui and Dorgu against Brentford's Kaode and Lewis Potter will determine how much width both teams can create in their attacks. In the final third, United's attackers will need to find ways to break down Brentford's organised defence, while Brentford will look to use their pace and movement to exploit any gaps in United's backline. Key players to watch. Bruno Fernandes, United's creative catalyst. Bruno Fernandes remains Manchester United's most important player, and his performance on Saturday could be decisive. The Portuguese midfielder has been adapting to Amorim's tactical system, and his role as the primary creative force makes him crucial to United's chances. Fernandes has the ability to unlock tight defences with his passing range and vision. Against a Brentford side that will likely sit deep and try to frustrate United, his creativity could be the difference between taking 1 point or 3, but Fernandes also needs to show more consistency in his decision-making. Too often this season, he's tried to force passes or shots when simpler options were available. Against Brentford's organised defence, patience and precision will be more valuable than spectacular attempts. His leadership qualities will also be important. With several key players unavailable, Fernandes needs to take responsibility for organising United's attacking play and ensuring his teammates maintain their intensity throughout the 90 minutes. Kevin Shade, Brentford's goal threat. Kevin Shade has been one of Brentford's standout performers this season, and he'll be crucial to their chances of getting a positive result against United. The German forward's pace and movement cause problems for any defence, and United's three-man backline will need to be well organised to contain him. His ability to drift wide or drop deep makes him difficult to mark, and is clinical when presented with chances. Shade's pressing from the front will also be important in Brentford's tactical plan. If he can disrupt United's build-up play and force errors, it could create the kind of chaotic situations where Brentford tend to thrive. His partnership with Igor Thiago could be particularly effective if they can establish an understanding and create space for each other in United's penalty area. Manuel Ugarte, the new midfield anchor. With Casemiro suspended, Manuel Ugarte has a chance to establish himself as United's first-choice defensive midfielder. The Uruguayan has shown glimpses of his quality since joining, but this could be his opportunity to make a real statement. Ugarte's energy and pressing intensity could be perfect for disrupting Brentford's rhythm. His ability to win the ball back and start quick attacks might be exactly what United need against a team that likes to build play patiently. However, he'll need to show more composure on the ball than he has in some previous appearances. Against Brentford's pressing game, simple passes and good decision-making will be more valuable than spectacular tackles. His understanding with Bruno Fernandes will be crucial. If these two can develop a good partnership, it could solve some of United's midfield problems for the rest of the season. Mikkel Damsgaard, Brentford's creative force. Mikkel Damsgaard's role as the attacking midfielder behind Brentford's front two makes him a key player in their tactical setup. His ability to find space between United's midfield and defence could create problems for the visitors. The Danish international has excellent technical skills and vision, making him capable of creating chances even when Brentford don't have much possession. His set-piece delivery could also be a weapon against United's sometimes vulnerable defence. Damsgaard's work rate without the ball will be equally important. In Brentford's pressing system, he needs to contribute defensively and help his team regain possession quickly when they lose it. Statistical deep dive. What the numbers tell us. Manchester United's attacking promise. The statistics reveal some interesting trends about both teams that could influence Saturday's match. Manchester United have produced the most shots in the Premier League this season with 81, which suggests they're creating plenty of chances. Even more encouraging is that United are averaging 16.2 shots per game this season, compared to 13.9 under Amorim last season. This improvement in chance creation shows that the tactical work is having a positive impact. The expected goals numbers are equally promising. United's XG per game has improved from 1.33 last season to 2.03 this season, indicating they're creating higher quality chances as well as more of them. But here's the problem. Creating chances means nothing if you can't convert them into goals and wins. United need to show they can be more clinical in front of goal, especially in away games where chances might be harder to come by. Brentford's defensive struggles. On the other side, Brentford's statistics reveal some concerning trends. They've had the fewest shots in the Premier League this season with just 41, which suggests they're struggling to create clear chances. More worrying is their record of dropping points from winning positions. 8 points dropped already this season is a huge number, and it suggests mental fragility when they get ahead in games. The fact that they've scored first in 4 games but only won one of them tells the story of their season so far. They can compete with teams and even take the lead, but they struggle to see games out when the pressure increases. This could be crucial against United, who have shown more resilience in recent weeks. If Brentford take the lead, they'll need to show much more game management than they have so far this season. Away form concerns. One statistic that should concern United fans is their recent away form. They're without a win in their 7 most recent away Premier League matches, which is a terrible record for a club with United's ambitions. Even more concerning is their overall record in London recently. Between February 2020 and January 2022, United went 13 games without defeat in London, but since then they've lost 15 of 24 visits to the capital. These numbers suggest a mental problem rather than a tactical one. United seem to struggle with the pressure and expectation when playing away from Old Trafford, and overcoming this psychological barrier is crucial for their season. Saturday's match at Brentford is another London trip, and United need to show they can break this negative cycle and start picking up points away from home consistently. Predicted lineups and formation analysis. How Manchester United will line up. Based on the team news and Amorim's recent preferences, United are expected to line up as follows. Goalkeeper. Sen Lamens gets the nod ahead of Altay Bayındır, suggesting the manager wants a more reliable presence between the posts. Defense. The three-man defense of Lenny Yoro, Matthijs de Ligt, and Luke Shaw offers pace, aerial ability, and ball-playing skills. Shaw's role as a left-sided centre-back is still developing, but his understanding of the game should help him adapt. Wing-backs. Nasser Mazraoui and Patrick Dorgu have the crucial responsibility of providing width in attack while tracking back defensively. Their energy and crossing ability will be vital for United's attacking play. Midfield. Manuel Ugarte and Bruno Fernandes offer a good balance of defensive solidity and creative threat. Ugarte's pressing and ball-winning ability should complement Fernandes' vision and passing range. Attack. Benjamin Sesko leads the line with his physical presence and finishing ability, supported by wide forwards who can drift inside or provide width as needed. Brentford's expected setup. Brentford are likely to line up in their preferred 3-4-1-2 formation. Goalkeeper. Kevin Kelleher has been consistent and reliable, offering good distribution to start attacks quickly. Defense. Sepp van den Berg, Nathan Collins, and Ethan Pinnock provide a solid foundation with different strengths that complement each other well. Wingbacks. Michael Caode and Keane Lewis-Potter have huge responsibility in this system, needing to contribute in both phases of play. Midfield. Jordan Henderson and Yeri Yarmolenko offer experience and energy respectively, with both players comfortable pressing high up the pitch. Attack. Kevin Shade and Igor Thiago provide pace and movement up front, while Mikkel Damsgaard pulls the strings from a deeper position. The psychological factor. Mental battles. Pressure and expectations. The psychological aspect of this match cannot be underestimated. For Manchester United, there's always pressure to win, but their recent struggles away from home add another layer of expectation. United players know that fans and media are watching their away performances closely. Another poor result could lead to serious questions about their progress under Amorim and their ability to compete for top 4 positions. But pressure can work both ways. Sometimes it motivates players to perform at their highest level, and United have shown in recent weeks that they can respond positively to adversity. For Brentford, the pressure is different but equally intense. They're fighting to stay in the Premier League, and every home game represents a crucial opportunity to pick up points. Confidence levels. United's confidence should be boosted by their recent win over Chelsea, but they need to show they can carry that momentum into away games. Building confidence away from home is crucial for any team with ambitions of finishing in the top half of the table. Brentford's confidence might be more fragile given their recent results, but playing at home against a bigger team often brings out the best in their players. They'll remember their recent success against United and use that as motivation. The first goal could be crucial in terms of confidence. If Brentford score first, they'll need to show better game management than they have so far this season. If United score first, they'll need to show they can control games and see out results away from home. Key battles across the pitch. Midfield control. The battle for midfield control will likely determine the outcome of this match. United's Bruno Fernandes and Manuel Ugarte will face off against Brentford's Jordan Henderson and Yeri Yarmolenko in what could be the most important area of the pitch. Fernandes' creativity against Henderson's experience will be particularly interesting to watch. Both players have leadership qualities and the ability to influence games, but they offer very different styles and approaches. Ugarte's pressing intensity against Yarmolenko's energy could create some fascinating individual battles. Both players like to win the ball back quickly and start attacks, so their head-to-head contest could swing the game. Wide areas and crossing. With both teams using wing-back systems, the wide areas of the pitch will be crucial battlegrounds. United's Mazraoui and Dorgu will face off against Brentford's Kayode and Lewis Potter in battles that could decide how much attacking threat each team can create. The quality of crossing and delivery from wide positions will be particularly important. Both teams have players in the box who can finish chances, but they need good service from the flanks to create those opportunities. Defensive tracking and recovery runs will also be vital. Wingbacks who get caught out of position can leave their teams exposed to quick counterattacks, so intelligence and stamina will be as important as attacking ability. Aerial duels and set pieces. Set pieces could play a major role in this match, given both teams' approaches to defending and attacking these situations. United have players like De Ligt and Euro who are strong in the air, while Brentford have Collins and Pinnock who can compete physically. Brentford's Damsgaard is particularly dangerous on set pieces, and his delivery could create problems for United's defense. Conversely, United's superior height and physicality could give them advantages on defensive set pieces. The battle for second balls and loose possession around the penalty areas could be crucial. Teams that win these small battles often create the best chances in tight games. Weather and pitch conditions. How conditions might affect play. While we don't have specific weather forecasts for Saturday's match, playing conditions always play a role in how games develop. The Tech Community Stadium typically has a good playing surface, which should favor both teams' technical players. If conditions are wet or windy, it could favor Brentford's more direct approach over United's attempts to build play patiently from the back. Conversely, good conditions might help United's technical players express themselves more freely. The time of year means the match will be played in good natural light, which should help both teams' attacking players time their runs and judge the flight of crosses and through balls, recent form and momentum. Manchester United's trajectory. United's recent form shows a team that's slowly finding its identity under Amorim. The win over Chelsea was crucial not just for points but for confidence and belief in the tactical system. However, their inconsistency remains a concern. For every good performance, there seems to be a disappointing result that raises questions about their progress. The key for United is showing they can build momentum from positive results rather than treating each game as a separate entity. Winning breeds winning, and they need to start putting together consistent runs of form. Brentford struggles. Brentford's form has been concerning, with too many games where they've been in winning positions only to drop points. This suggests both tactical and mental issues that need to be addressed. However, they've shown they can compete with good teams, and their underlying performance numbers aren't as bad as their league position suggests. Sometimes football comes down to fine margins, and a few results going their way could change their season completely. The fact that they've been competitive in most games gives them reason for optimism, but they need to start converting performances into points before the pressure really starts to build. Substitutions and game management. Squad depth comparison. Both managers will need to think carefully about their substitution strategies, as the game could be decided by changes made from the bench. United have more overall quality in their squad, but Amorim's system requires specific types of players, which might limit his options for tactical changes during the game. Brentford's squad is smaller but more cohesive in terms of understanding the tactical system. Andrews might have more flexibility to change personnel without disrupting the team's overall approach. Timing of changes. The timing of substitutions could be crucial, especially if the game remains tight in the final half hour. Both managers will need to balance freshening up their teams with maintaining tactical coherence. United's superior squad depth should give them advantages in the final stages if the game remains close. Their ability to bring on quality players who understand Amorim's system could be decisive. Referee and VAR considerations. Key decisions that might arise. With both teams likely to commit players forward in search of goals, there could be several key decisions for the referee and VAR team to handle. United's attacking approach might lead to penalty appeals, while Brentford's pressing game could result in several booking-worthy challenges that need to be managed carefully. Set-piece situations will be particularly important to officiate correctly, as both teams have players who are strong in aerial duels and capable of winning fouls in dangerous areas. Fan expectations and atmosphere. What supporters want to see. United fans travelling to the Tech Community Stadium will expect to see their team show character and fight for the result. Recent away performances have been disappointing, so there's pressure on the players to deliver. Brentford fans will create a hostile atmosphere as they always do, but they'll also expect their team to show the kind of intensity and commitment that made them successful in recent seasons. Both sets of supporters understand the importance of this match for their team's seasons, which should create an electric atmosphere that could influence the players' performances. Injury concerns during the match. Players to monitor. Several players on both sides will need to be monitored carefully for fitness issues during the match. United's injury list means they can't afford to lose any more players to problems during the game. Shaw's fitness will be particularly important to watch, as his role as a left-sided centre-back is still relatively new and physically demanding. Brentford's wing-backs will cover enormous distances during the match, so their stamina levels in the final stages could influence the tactical approach. Post-match implications. What victory would mean? A win for United would represent significant progress in their away form and could kickstart a positive run of results that transforms their season. For Brentford, victory would provide crucial points in their fight against relegation and prove they can compete without their departed star players. A draw might feel like a missed opportunity for both teams, though it would continue United's unbeaten run while giving Brentford a valuable point at home. Bold predictions and final thoughts. How the match will unfold. Based on all the analysis and factors we've discussed, this match promises to be an entertaining encounter between two teams with very different objectives but similar levels of motivation. United's superior individual quality should give them advantages, but Brentford's home advantage and desperate need for points could level the playing field. The tactical battle between Amorim and Andrews will be fascinating to watch, with both managers needing to adapt their plans based on how the game develops. Set pieces and individual moments of quality are likely to decide the result, as both teams have players capable of creating something special when the game is tight. The most likely outcome. A narrow victory for United seems the most likely outcome, but both teams have the ability to score goals, so we should expect an entertaining match with plenty of chances at both ends. Final score prediction. Based on our comprehensive analysis of both teams, their current form, tactical approaches, and key player availability, we predict Manchester United will win this match 2-1. United's superior individual quality and recent improvement in tactical cohesion should be enough to overcome Brentford's home advantage and desperate need for points. However, this won't be an easy victory. Brentford will score at least once, and there will be periods where United are under significant pressure. Bruno Fernandes will likely be United's standout performer, contributing either a goal or assist, while Kevin Shade will cause problems for United's defence throughout the match. The winning goal will probably come in the second half, as United's superior fitness and squad depth allows them to maintain their intensity when Brentford start to tire. Conclusion. A match that could define both teams' seasons. As we wrap up this comprehensive preview of Saturday's crucial encounter, it's worth reflecting on just how important this match could be for both Manchester United and Brentford. For United, this represents another opportunity to prove they're making genuine progress under Ruben Amorim. The tactical improvements are evident, the squad is beginning to understand the system, and individual players are starting to show their best form. But none of that matters if they can't translate it into wins away from home. Saturday's trip to Brentford is exactly the kind of match where United have struggled in recent seasons. It's not a glamorous fixture against a traditional rival. It's not a match where the occasion alone will lift the players. It's a professional job that needs to be done against a team fighting for their Premier League lives. The good news for United fans is that this squad seems to have more character and resilience than recent versions. The way they responded to going behind against Chelsea showed mental strength that has been missing in previous seasons. If they can carry that mentality to Brentford, they should have enough quality to get the result they need. For Brentford, this match represents a chance to show that losing key players doesn't have to mean losing their competitive edge. Keith Andrews has had time to work with his squad, and while the results haven't been perfect, the performances suggest there's still plenty of quality in this team. The challenge for Brentford is converting good performances into points on the board. They've shown they can compete with anyone on their day, but they need to start managing games better when they get into winning positions. Against United, they'll likely have chances to take the lead, but what they do after that could determine their entire season. From a tactical perspective, this match offers a fascinating contrast in styles and approaches. Amorim's systematic, possession-based approach against Andrews' more direct, high-intensity style should create an entertaining spectacle for neutral observers. The individual battles across the pitch will be crucial. Bruno Fernandes against Jordan Henderson in midfield, the wing-back battles on both flanks, and the aerial duels in both penalty areas could all influence the final result. But perhaps most importantly, this match will test both teams' mental strength and character. United need to show they can handle the pressure of being favourites in a difficult away fixture. Brentford need to prove they can perform when the stakes are highest and points are desperately needed. The statistics and analysis all point toward a United victory, but football isn't played on paper. Brentford have already shown they can beat United in recent seasons, and they'll believe they can do it again if they perform at their maximum level. What we can say with confidence is that this will be an entertaining match between two teams with everything to play for. United fans should expect to see their team tested thoroughly, while Brentford supporters can look forward to seeing their players give everything in pursuit of crucial points. The result will tell us a lot about where both teams are in their development and what we can expect from them for the rest of the season. A United win would suggest they're finally ready to compete consistently away from home. A Brentford victory would prove they can still compete at this level despite losing key players. Whatever happens, this match promises to be another chapter in what's shaping up to be a fascinating Premier League season. Both teams have shown they can produce moments of brilliance, but consistency has been the problem. Saturday will test which team is better prepared to turn potential into performance when it matters most. Make sure you're following United daily updates for all the post-match analysis, reaction, and implications of Saturday's result. We'll be breaking down every aspect of the performance and looking ahead to what comes next for both teams. Thank you for joining us for this detailed preview. Whether you're a United fan hoping for 3 points or neutral looking forward to an entertaining match, Saturday's encounter at the Tech Community Stadium should provide plenty of talking points and drama. Until next time, keep supporting the beautiful game and remember that in football, anything can happen when 22 players step onto that pitch. See you for the post-match analysis.